All right, the joys of seeing if this is going to work. I'm going to take a moment just to check a couple of levels. But while I do that, let's see if I can do two things at once. I just want to welcome you. This is sort of my musical playground where I sight read music that I find on IMSLP or that others find for me on IMSLP. So I have a good time doing this, and I hope that you all will enjoy it as well. I'm going to double check one more thing, and then we should be all set to go. And I should add here two things. One thing is that this will be available to watch on YouTube later, so if you need to cut out early, no worries. The other thing I want to just point out is that if you want to make comments, you can feel free to do that. I'm trying to pull up where I can actually watch the comments. Sometimes that's easier said than done, of course. But let me try to do that right now. And then I will begin. So I think I can't take any requests. I have enough to do, but if you have one, by all means, please put them in the comments and we'll see if we can get them in next time. All right, my dog is here, so he will probably make noise. And it's kind of dark in here, but that's okay. All right, the first piece I am going to start with is a piece by a friend on Twitter, and his name is Richard Piano, is how I know him. And this is called Pax Vobiscum. I do not know my Latin, so forgive me for my bad pronunciation. This is a little tune he just literally wrote. And I'm not quite sure. It's very short, so that's good. The tempo indication is pas lent, so very, very slow, which it's quarter note equals 72, so that's pretty slow. Lots of accidentals, which always makes me a bit apprehensive, but we're going to see what happens. It changes key, so at first it's in C, and then it goes into A flat, is my guess, and then it goes back into C. Fastest note value are eighth notes, so that's really not bad. Mostly quarter notes and half notes. So it looks to me that this is very much kind of like a hymn type of piece, homophonic rhythm, so both hands are doing the same rhythm at the same time for the most part. So this should be a good warm-up. I'm hoping I'm not going to butcher all these accidentals. We will see what happens. It's always important to choose a good tempo. Even though, yes, it says a quarter note equals 72, when you're sight reading, you are at liberty to choose your own tempo because obviously, especially when you're doing solo, it's up to you. So you need to know or guess what you can handle. Oh, all these accidentals. simple little piece, but lovely harmonies. I'm actually working on one of Richard's pieces right now, like for real life. And it's very Debussy-esque, very impressionist, and just gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed those harmonies. All right, the next piece, let's see, that I was gonna do today, somebody sent in a request for 2 pieces from Borodin's suite, which I have never heard of. This is why I love doing this. I'm learning all this music I've never heard of. And he requested the number 4 and number 6. Number 4 is a mazurka. And actually, I don't know Borodin's music very well, so this is going to be fun for that reason too. I'm always kind of embarrassed to admit these things, but there you go. All right, so a mazurka is a dance. It's in 3, so that's what this is. 4 flats, so that makes me a little bit nervous. 5 flats, excuse me, 5 flats. So we're either talking D flat major or B flat minor. It does not look like that when I look at it. So that'll be interesting to figure out what's going on. I think I'm gonna put my iPad this way so it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, lots of key changes. So we have the 5 flats at first. It's gonna move to 3 sharps. It's 3 sharps for a while, and then it goes back to 5 flats. Looks like it's gonna return to the opening material. That's nice. I can get a second chance. The first half looks like the right hand is actually more accompanimental at first. Left hand has the rhythm, or the melody. So I want to focus on that left hand first. I'm looking for any super complex spots. Doesn't look like we have any spots where I'm going to freak out too much. At the end, it looks like he gets a little bit, wants to strengthen that melody, so it's doubled with octaves. So that should be interesting. It's marked pretty fast. Quarter note equals 138. Oh yeah, so it's mostly 8th notes in here. Even if I'm sight reading, I might do it a little bit under tempo, of course, but I do want to maintain the sense of a dance. So I'm going to try not to do it too slow either. Very weird. This seems modal or something. I just noticed too, it's marked expressivo ed amoroso. So expressive and amorously. Ooh. So I can use that as an excuse to add some rubato, perhaps. 1, 2, 3. Churro, can you sit? Good boy. Come here. That was very nice. I liked that one. Very unique kind of twists of harmony in there, which I enjoyed. And excuse me, we're training Churro to try to sing a little bit more quietly, and I think he did pretty well. So, treat time. Okay, yeah. So that was Borodin's mazurka. Oh my. Okay. Oh no, I think I have the wrong one. So number 7 is the nocturne, and I had also been requested this one. So he's really into flats apparently. We've got 6 flats, and so we've either got G flat, looks more like maybe E flat minor. No, I think G flat. And a lot of 8th notes. Luckily it's a nocturne. I see amoroso, espressivo again in the score. So definitely room for some rubato. Più lento at the end of this section. There's a accompaniment figure that goes between the 2 hands. It's just this, what do you call it? Pivoting. That's not the right word. Anyway, goes back and forth. And then the left hand is going to have it a lot. And it goes back. Then it's going to change keys and go to 1 flat. And then come back to the 6 flats. So with 6 flats, it's daunting a little bit, but what I try to keep in mind is I say, all right, all the black keys plus C flat. So that's what I have to tell myself. What else? I'm looking for a melody so I know kind of what to latch onto. Of course, I try to latch onto bass as well to get the harmonies. But overall, there's this prevailing rhythm of bum, 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 bum that goes along with these 8th notes. So that's going to be largely the focus. So let's hear how it goes. So I think it seems kind of like rocking on a boat in the middle of a lake during sunset or something. So not too fast. 1, 2, 3. was a treat. So that was Borodin's Nocturne. And I thought that was just lovely. And I think Churro did pretty well. He's headed over there and he's laying down. Let's see if that sticks. All right. So following that, I'm looking up something again. I always have to do this. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right piece. All right, we're gonna go for Louis Sotare's Odysseus. So the composer himself sent me this request, and he wrote this back in 2012. It is on IMSLP. Oh, by the way, if you are interested in following along, there are links to all of these pieces, except for the first one, in the description of this live event. All right, Andante, quarter note equals 84. Looks like you've got the melody in the right hand at first. Did I already say 3 flats? So it seems like it might be an E flat. Yeah, so the melody is almost always in the right hand, if not always. The left hand has accompanimental patterns. Looks like you do have this figure in the left hand. In addition to these 16th notes that are sort of filler. So I'll probably want to bring that out. You've got a DC, so go back to the beginning and then go to the coda. So 16th notes, and 8th notes, a couple triplets. I'm trying to find the melody because that kind of helped me determine the tempo. I think because it's marked Andante, I don't want this to feel frantic, so I want to be careful with my tempo. But then it goes to 8th notes, so we don't want it to get stagnant either. So I think we're gonna go for 1, 2, 3, 4. knows what that means? You have to sing quietly. That wasn't quiet, okay? So you sing quietly and you'll get another treat, okay? All right, sing quiet. Shh. All right, the next piece, that was quite haunting. I enjoyed that. The next piece is so the next set of pieces actually are going to be by different female composers that I have been discovering on IMSLP. And this first one is by Teresita Carreño Tagliapietra. That is a lot of fun to say. And she is the daughter of Teresa Carreño, who is a very famous composer and pianist. So I think this is like one of the only pieces that I could find of hers, but I just thought it was so interesting. I had no idea that Teresa Carreño had a daughter that wrote. So these are her trois morceaux, and like all these, I've never seen this before, so we'll see what happens. The first one is marked tristesse, so it means, I think, sadness. Again, this is like the day of flats. This is 6 flats, so all the black keys plus C flat, plus I'm looking and there's tons of accidentals. So when I see tons of accidentals, I try to quickly ascertain, is it something to freak out about or not? Here, as I notice, the middle voice actually is just a repeated pattern a lot. So it's just a chromatic line involves these 3 notes. So I'm not going to freak out too much. It does change here. But again, the top voice of the alto just stays the same, and then you've got a descending 3 lines. And that pretty much goes throughout. So I'm just going to go on the hypothesis that that is what we're dealing with. It temporarily goes into the left hand. Got some trills. Mostly the melody is in the right hand. Lento. It's Marc Tristez. That's always a great type of piece to sight read because when you're sad, you can play slow, right? Fastest note value is 8th notes. It does change keys 1 time, 2 times. Well, yeah, just once, and then it goes back. The melody, just to help me choose a tempo. A little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm very confused by something and I think it's messing me up. Okay, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna switch my hands because it's not working the way I'm doing it. It's very deceptive. Okay, derecho, that means right, right? Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that had me quite stumped in there. And that obviously can happen when you're reading a composer you know nothing about, right? It's sometimes they have a tonal harmonic language that you might not be familiar with. So my goal when that happens is to hold on for dear life and to keep trying to look ahead and to hear the harmonies that I'm seeing. That's not always easy. And this was compounded by the fact that the hands were crossing. Very interesting. All right, we're gonna move on now to her minuet in an ancient style. Minuetto in stilo antico. So this looks very different harmonically, much more straightforward. We've got 16th notes that are staccato, so I can't go too fast. Plus it's a minuet. My guess is that might be a pretty good, maybe a little bit faster, because the beginning is quarter notes and eighth notes. So it might be a little challenging with the 16ths, but why not? There aren't that many of them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Was good at the end. You were quiet. Here you go. All right. That was much more straightforward, wasn't it? All right. Woo. And then the last movement of this piece set is called Petite Berceuse. So little lullaby. It's in 4. Oh, it's only 1 page. Beautiful. Right hand has the melody, left hand has an accompaniment. Look like it's very motivic. And it says con grazia. So I don't want it too slow, but I also don't want it too fast. It's in B flat major. The left hand is just very outlining of chords. So that should be pretty straightforward. I've got some fermatas. I'm going to enjoy those fermatas. Take time there to kind of regroup. Fastest note value are 8th notes. So, but again, I want to really go for a graceful tempo. 1, 2, Actually, I'm feeling it more in 2. 1, 2. thought it was going to be. Shoot. That's okay. Very sweet. The left hand is actually trickier than I had anticipated because it does move all over the place. So that's okay. All right. I have like mixed feelings about those. I think some of those could be good for some students. So yeah, so there you go. So her name is Teresita, I forget. Teresita Carreño Taglia Pietra. So, and again, that's in IMSLP. And the link is in the description of this event. All right, the next piece is a piece by another composer I've never heard of. Paula Zalit, and I think she was of Polish descent. Oh my, guess how many flats? 6 flats again, folks. So crazy. Intermezzo, it's marked moderato e tranquillo. So a moderate tempo, tranquillo, so it should be at peace, peaceful. Looks like most of the action is in the right hand. Yes, left hand has just constant 8th notes. Right hand has 16th notes, but again, it's within a tranquillo, so we're not going to go too fast. I do notice at the end there is a triplet 16th note thrown in, so I just kind of quickly calculated that in my head. Especially because it's at the end, I didn't want it to catch me off guard. It may still, but whatever. Looks like beautiful, lush harmonies. I think maybe she wasn't from Poland. I don't know. I just saw this was published in New York, so I don't know. What's the melody? Gave me chills. Okay. I got caught at the end because there's this and I missed it. So I want to do the ending one more time. It's my show. I can do that, right? Okay, that's like, yeah, that's just gorgeous. Okay, makes me insanely happy. Then there's another piece by her. I think my husband's home. Churro, can you be quiet? The next piece is Morceau, again, by the same composer. So we'll see how these go. I'm hoping my husband walks in quickly. Churro. Churro, can you sit? Yeah, why don't you sit? Slight pause while we feed the dog. And there he is. Okay, good. So the first one is the first one is a reverie, and this one was published in Berlin. This is 5 flats. This is just like tons of flat day. Hello.
Hi.
Left hand again has the accompaniment. I believe this is D flat major. I love reveries because you can take all the time in the world. There's this cadenza in the middle. Okay, wait a sec. And we've got this really high note. I think it's a B flat. So I quickly try to figure out what the trick is to the cadenza. So as I look at it, it's just... Okay, so that's not a big deal. Okay. Doesn't look bad. So let's pick a tempo. A little slower. 1, 2. well, she did it again. I thought that was gorgeous. So, yay. Okay, then there's a second one in this set, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it. It looks really hard. Oh, why not? Okay, we're just gonna try it. It could be really disastrous, so it'll be fun for you. Maybe, maybe not. And sorry for the light coming in. It's a very bright window, and the sun is setting. All right, 16th notes. We're in A major, so at least we don't have a million flats. In one of the hairy spots, actually the hands are doubled. So I'm really just going to try to read one line, but I don't know. It's just scary to me. Okay, whatever. I'll just hope. Oh, and it does it again. Okay, well, this should be really interesting. I just won't take it too fast. There are no key changes, so there's that. What's the tempo indication? Appassionato. I'm going to translate it as that as forward motion. That's what we're going to do it at. Oh, it's actually F sharp minor. 1, the other ones, but quite nice. I like her music a lot. Very straightforward. I mean, nothing bombastic, but good. All right, and then I think I'm going to end with, yeah, I'm gonna try something totally different. So this is a piece I know by ear, but it's Brahms's Fourth Symphony. I'm gonna do the, I'm gonna attempt the slow movement because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I just like want to do it. So there. I think I can do it. I don't know. I may have to stop in the middle. I don't know. All I know is I love it. Isn't that a good rationale for doing it? I don't know. All right, yeah, I may crash and burn, but we'll see how far I get. So Fourth Symphony by Brahms. This is the third movement, Andante Moderato. And it's not going to sound nearly as good as it does on the orchestra, but, you know, use your imagination. Okay, well, I made it through, so yay, let's have a party. Really beautiful. It doesn't really work so well on piano. That's what my decision is. That's my verdict. But it was really fun to play. It's one of my favorite movements. I played it in youth orchestra and cello. And what was really interesting was I was so much more aware doing it on piano of the very interesting harmonic shifts that Brahms does, which makes it hard to sight read, but really beautiful too. All right, that is it for tonight. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for the next episode, which may be Sunday, maybe Wednesday. Just keep your eyes glued. See you all later. Bye.